Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to Mr. Cat, day number 8. As we make our way through Group B, we are witnessing TNC Pro Team up against Clutch Gamers. And you're here with Trent Pax, joined by Android. Annie, are you there?
I am indeed. Hello.
Hello, 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 hello.
I got a story for you.
Do you? Excellent, please.
So it's 3:30 in the morning. I'm coming down from my room. It's pitch black on the first floor of the Moonduck Studios house.
Mm-hmm.
And from the walls, I hear Trent's voice just booming, talking about things, and I am frightened. And it turns out Zayuri just left the Moonduck stream on at like max volume, and it's playing over the surround sound at our house.
Oh, excellent.
And, oh my god, that was something to wake up to.
Got to witness some glorious gungeoning, I'm sure.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out where it was coming from for like a full 5 minutes, and I was like really upset.
Well, at least we survived. We've made it. As you can see, man, they are taking forever on these first few bands. I'm really glad I waited a bit before we got started here because it took tons of time. I mean, look, 55 seconds left from Clutch Gamers, and we're only to the first pick, and plenty of time also used up here by TNC. So, trying to craft up perhaps a long future in this draft. Really trying to figure out where they want to go, what they think their opponents are going to grab, and whatnot. So, Mr. Slider. They were happy to give it away from TNC, it seems, or willing to do so, at the very least, in order to get themselves Rubik and Sand King.
A lot of priority been placed on Sand King in the SEA region for the last couple of weeks. I mean, you don't really see it picked up as such a priority anywhere else.
Yeah, he's a quality hero, that guy. I think now that Batrider's gone, he's one of the best lane dominators left, I guess. It's like him and Axe, really, in terms of like being able to give yourself favorable 1v1s. And then he still does have that versatility, which we definitely see more in SEA than any other region. Like, I barely ever even want to mention a position for Sand King when I cast Europe or NA, but I feel like whenever I'm casting Southeast Asia, it's almost like more often that it winds up being this position for Sand King. So for now, I'm still going to assume it'll be off lane, and with the slight possibility, however, those percentages are definitely shifting as every day of Mr. Cat continues.
Mr. Cat has been a wonderful tournament, way to shake things up in the SEA scene. Way to see what's going on there, but they're probably going to stick to the meta. I'm guessing it's going to be offlane. Clutch, they go for the Shadow Demon, and TNC, they've got a chance to ban out the Luna here if they'd want to, or Clutch may just be looking at other potential combinations. The Luna's just blaringly obvious.
Yeah, it's so good too. Just with the oh, my audio looks a little loud. No, it's fine. Maybe a little down. Anyway, the Soul Catchers are so good with any sort of these slider initiations and combos and whatnot. So it always going to be a happy little duo for yourself. But as you said, the Luna, the Terror Blade, the Juggernaut. There's so many great little stat heroes. You can just combo up with Shadow Demon and have a fine old time. So. At least they have Sand King, who was considered to be one of the better heroes up against your Luna spam or illusion spam and stuff. He can kind of help up against that. So they're in an okay place here for TNC. What's we got going on here? A Drow ban. That was TNC who actually had our nice little Drow strat where they went with that crazy aggression in our first series for them.
I just realized it's been so long since I've seen TNC play. I think it may have been since TI that I have not seen TNC play.
10 seconds remaining.
Very long time here, so we'll see how they've shifted things up.
Yeah, quite a...
Same roster, I believe, right? I don't think they switched around after.
Not since TI. There have been a lot of changes since TI in terms of like Demon's obviously gone, but you guys would all recognize plenty of these players. I mean, you guys all know Sam H, you guys all know Tim's, Raven, Kuku, and Rior. So it's kind of a, I would call it a pretty stacked SEA team. I'm definitely looking forward to watching some more of them. So far, they've gone 2-2. I want to say, yeah, they went 1-1 with Geek Fam, and they went 1-1 with Execration. Mind you, those are two of like the toughest matchups in Group B. So this is where I think they really want to try and cement themselves into a 2-0. Not the Clutch Gamers are pushovers at all. Again, more familiar names from SEA, but if they want to do well in the group, today's a very important day for TNC.
10 seconds remaining.
Gonna be a hype matchup. Clutch Gamers, we saw them yesterday, I
5
believe,
seconds remaining.
up against. Who were they against yesterday? I am blanking out.
For
Reserve
Clutch,
time.
I can't even remember. Were they doing? They were up against Trust yesterday. That was their one series.
Yes, and Clutch, they went 1-1 overall, but game number 1 of that series was a complete washout with Armel getting his Ember Spirit. We'll see if that's something TNC are going to ban out or if Clutch is going to go back in for that. Opposite.
Oh yeah, that was actually like a crazy game. That's
the opposite of what I
yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. That Ember game though, like honestly, was one of the best Ember games that we've seen. Just he got completely out of control up against the tanker, just ran over the entire game. And what do they have? I guess they have Rubik and Sanking, so pretty good so far for that. And well, TNC, they have shown us one thing so far this tournament, and that is that they like to push fast and early. And this will be that once again here with the Chen picked up. So that secures our offlane Sanking, position for Chen. Plenty of roaming in with him. And we still have the option of a Juggernaut to like kind of, he can go into any lane. He can go safe lane, he can go mid, and they could also do some sort of like an aggro, like dual lane with a pressuring aggressive Chen. So some nice options here for TNC.
What? Are we in elimination mode right now?
TNC's turn to ban.
Yeah, Clutch, they've been, I did notice they've been picking the gyro, but we didn't get to see it yesterday. But in some of their other games and other tournaments, they have been picking the guy up. And I guess up against earlier push, they seem to like the hero, right? Lots of early magic damage at the beginning of the game. He's pretty good in terms of his burst. He's good against Chen creeps, one out the flat cannon, as well as the call down. So it's a pretty solid game.
Reserve time.
I'm a little bit surprised Clutch didn't go for the Luna. I mean, I know they've got lots of choices for themselves, but clearly TNC didn't ban it out. It's still in the pool. And Luna, you can build the Hummel the Dominator and then just dominate Chen creeps, but we'll see how else Clutch is going to deal with that. Should be able to burst him down pretty nicely with the Rocket Barrage if they need to.
Oh, yeah. Like, we'll probably see the Helm build as well from the gyro, too. It's just, I mean, that item's obviously on every position one, so it works out fine for him. And we also, I don't
Gyro's got
know.
Helm now?
What's that? Oh, yeah, they're
I
Helm
just thought
builders.
they just went into Satanic if they were crazy.
No, we're still Helm builders. Gyro's a good hero.
10 seconds.
Hey, everyone's a Helm builder, Annie. Come on. It's like
we're
the
gonna get to see
greatest
some,
item in the game.
Radiant
Side gunner
to
action.
ban.
I hope not, but I don't know. I guess people like it, so I'm willing to be converted. I just haven't got a chance to see it enough, I suppose. But the math kind of checks out. It's kind of like having a permanent DD rune. The only problem is it reminds me of like the idea of like Ags PL, where it's like, yeah, super good and cool, but it feels very difficult to work into the timings and the itemization that you actually want in your gyrocopter. But we'll have to see. We have the Tinker Band coming out here, not too shocking. Same with the Venge as well, where this could just be a mid jug, and then we have this Vengeful Spirit coming in crazy heavy push. So I think that's a very smart ban here from Clutch.
Last pick going the way of Clutch Gamers. It looks like they're still looking for a mid. They're doing
10
something
seconds remaining.
wacky with this gyrocopter. I'd
Yeah,
like to
unless
see
we
them
get
have a-
limp style or something.
5
Yeah.
seconds remaining.
It's just solo mid gyrocopter. He feels no fear. They're dipping into the last of their reserve time. Like you mentioned, a lot of that used up on the first round of bans, so they only got a
10
little bit of time to make this
seconds
decision. It's gonna be the Queen
Oh.
of Pain. More team fight for themselves.
TNC's turn to pick.
Okay, so somewhat survival against Chen ganks. I guess maybe more so than an Ember would be at the early stages of the game. So that could be one reason why they're offering her up instead. She has good burst to go with the Soul Catcher too, and she can rotate and join the fights before an Ember can. She can join at like
5 seconds
6, 7, 8, 9, whereas Ember kind of wants to wait until like 8, 9, 10-ish area, like he doesn't have his Veil yet or something like that, where she's going to be pumped out
5
plenty of
seconds remaining.
screams, and that first Sonic Wave too is going to be a big moment for them to have her catapult. So they'll go with the Shadow Fiend. Great choice. I mean, with the Venge band out, Shadow Fiend does a lot of the same similar things. We'll just throw him mid instead, and our Juggernaut can just hop into the safe lane. What a hero, honestly. He's the
Juggernaut or
best.
Shadow Fiend.
Juggernaut. And Shadow Fiend too. I mean, Shadow Fiend's pretty great.
They're both pretty great. I'm really liking TNC's lineup right now.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I would favor... well, I'll have to see the lanes, I suppose. I assume they're going to do Sand King's safe lane for TNC. Does that sound right? if we do Sand King safe lane and we run Juggernaut Rubik down and we have an aggressive Chen in the jungle and he's just helping the lane and bullying, they can pressure the gyro early. The Chen creep absorbs the rocket barrage.
10 seconds
That looks pretty good. We have a Shadow Fiend mid. And then that way they're drawing the attention from the supports on the Shadow Demon and the Slider. And they can't gank the Shadow Fiend, which is really good because it's already going to be kind of a poopy time because they have this Queen of Pain there, which is generally going to be a funner time for Queen of Pain with no assistance coming through. So I would say that it probably benefits TNC to go a little bit aggressive here. And that way they get a 1v1 in the safe lane of their Axe and Sand King. And Sand King's just able to get farm and rotate and have things happen with that.
I got bugs.
Oh, do ya?
It loaded me in with a HUD that I don't even own.
All right, that's pretty impressive.
That is probably the weirdest bug I've seen. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to figure that one out. It's not bad. This isn't the HUD I own. It also keeps zooming in without me touching a mouse.
Yeah, the zoom is really weird lately. I find when I'm spectating, sometimes I zoom in and it zooms out. Like I'm like rolling the wheel forward and it just flies me the other way. I don't know.
It like loaded me in all the way zoomed in, and so I like notched my mouse back like one click on the scroll wheel, and now I'm like the whole map is in my range of vision. It's so far out.
What do I have here? I'll immediately queue. Look at Tim's. He has the default queued up ward just all the time. And he's popping a couple more too. Oh, he just got rid of them.
It's slow zooming.
Upping the chick magnet.
Ooh.
Damn, dude.
Damn. There we go. I have fixed it. Apparently Tim's is also a chick magnet.
It's good to know these things.
You heard it here. Yeah, a Bing giving us the inside information.
Okay, so... Well, Sand King heads bottom and Jug heads top, so they're going to immediately try and scout this out, see what's going on. And Raven will find Boombox before the ward gets placed down, so you could TP by him. He also has the ward in his backpack, so he can try and figure out where he wants to go. So this means that this does open up the rotations. I guess TNC, essentially what they're saying is they're going to make the choice of giving the Chen a little bit of a greedier time, but I think this could cost them some problems with their Shadow Fiend. And Sam H, if the supports do leave, one thing is that he can bully the gyro quite a bit. So it's a little bit of just a trade-off scenario. I think either laning scenario could have been fine.
Very interested to see both our Juggernaut and our Gyro's itemization. I mean, we've seen the typical Jug, just Manta Diffusal, let's fight early, but, you know, I actually saw a Battle Fury Jug the other day, and it was refreshing. It did so well.
Wow, really?
I mean, I wouldn't recommend it here, as Clutch want to push as early as possible, and they want to fight, and they want to brawl before you're going to have the farm for a Battle Fury, but that build is not 100% dead. Now, speaking of dead, we'll see if TNC are going to be okay as Clutch move in here. Looking to contest this rune, and it looks like Radiant may have done a perfect job of it. 3 runes going their way.
Yeah, just nicely done. Knowing they have the stronger level 1. In a like 2v2 scenario, maybe that goes better for TNC, but when you're fully bringing in the... if it's not, you know, Slider Axe, that is. These guys are very beefy and scary, so... we'll have to see how our position 4 Slider does up here. And just when he rotates down towards that mid lane, and how much assistance the Chen is able to give. Great wards placed down by the Radiant so far, probably the most important part of this game. They block this camp. They're going to spot any rotations to the mid. They know that's where his attention is going to want to be focused as a Chen with a Shadow Fiend on his team. Bottom, very low kill potential here. Possibly at level 1. Sam H needs to be careful.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Sam
knows
H
the Shadow Poison.
Completely caught off guard if he, you know, makes a itty bitty tiny short range burrow strike and then has no more escape. He could be in some trouble.
Yeah, for now, definitely getting a favorable trade here on Fly Solo. Only
Lift
has
up on
2
the axe
tangos.
up top. He's going to be crashed in. Both heroes stuck. The axe getting very, very low. Body blocked up for a little bit. One more shot would have spelled his doom, but he's able to get off his health pot. Going to be salving up just a little bit, making his way towards the shrine. That was way too close for comfort for Clutch Gamers.
Oh, yeah, and Sam H also tanks a bunch of Shadow Poisons down here and drops rather low, but he's fine. And Armel Not having the funnest. Well, actually, he's definitely doing well in terms of the last hits, but there's plenty of creeps even under the tower now for RML, so he's looking to really take a serious last hit advantage here in the mid lane.
RML actually, he's not trying to take a last hit advantage. He wants a first blood advantage, and bringing in the Slardar is the way to do that. Uphill miss buys a little bit of time for the Shadow Fiend, but first blood still goes to the Queen of Pain, and she's off to a very nice start.
Yeah, and this is what happens because TNC didn't go aggro.
Sam H, he's got 2 seconds, and the Burrow Strike goes for the short range, but he's still eating Rocket Barrage missiles. It looks like Fly Solo's able to go, make his way through the trees. This is going very well for the Radiant.
Oh, I need to fix that. I know what's happening. Sorry, I'm having some slight production issues. All right, that should be a little better. Yeah, so what do we have now? We have 2-0 to Clutch Gamers, and again, because they didn't go aggressive, it just means that this Slardar is kind of free to roam. Like, he can help top, but he can also just run away whenever Rappy has the waves just pushing in. Or honestly, Rappy, of course, just pushes the waves himself. He's going to like non-stop grab and pull, and he shoves it under tower, and then Juggernaut's like last hitting under tower. This is what makes Axe so annoying, because he kills your wave instantly, and you don't want to always be going on him, or you're missing all the last hits, and he's just very disruptive in lane.
Yeah, and it's not even like Raven can easily hop out and bail into the jungle, because Shen's doing his rounds, he's making his way. Now up top, we are going to have Axe lifted up, pop down once again. He could be in some trouble. Slardar's there for a zoning crush, so they're going to play nice for now. Juggernaut immediately back to farming, but Axe still out of regen. He has to either go back to Shrine or go all the way back to Fountain.
Yeah, nice use of the Battle Hunger there, and then in combination with the Windlace, he's just abusing his mobility down here.
Fast boy.
Oh, he's speedy. Man, I'm getting some annoying frame issues. I mean, it's not bad. It's just like not completely perfect. I want perfect, Annie. I want flawless.
Here. Only the best for Mr. Cat.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, it should be fine now.
Let me know if you need any help here, as our elimination mode, like ghetto production rig, is all sorted out. We can tear it apart.
You just mail me some good parts.
How many mic cords are like wrapped up on the wall? It's like an Indiana Jones booby trap. Now here we go. Axe moves in, wants to go in for some creep clear. Rayar gets low, but they're not going to be getting a kill off of that just yet. You can feel Boombeck's just, he wants to crush, he's ready. But in the end, this duo has to back out, and the Juggernaut's been farming this entire time. Even under tower, Raven's farm is still phenomenal.
Yeah, at the very least, it's given a little bit of reprieve too, mid for Cuckoo. Despite the fact that they're like pressuring him with his axe and stuff.
Oh, the poison ends. It's just barely not enough damage. He's able to channel up a salve, and Abeng is not able to get on top of him in time. The Sand King styled on the Radiant lane.
Yeah, unfortunately, he only has 7 last hits so far, and he's not slowing down Gyro quite that much. But he'll catch up a little bit here. And finally, we're going to have an impact here from our Chen. So Tim's level 3. Going to make his first big rotation down. And Fly Soul, he's at least out of mana. He's got the net now, too. They don't know this is... Oh, actually, they fully know this is coming. At least they should.
He's not going to care. He's going to go ahead, herded back, and it's going to be Chen taking a stroll for now, bringing his creeps in. And I mean, this Chen's had a lot going for himself. He can probably add to some real early push, but the rest of his team needs items before they're going to get active. This Juggernaut does not want to leave his lane until he's got what he needs. And speaking of Juggernaut, he's going to go ahead, get crushed up. The call going to be canceled by the Axe. They're going to let Raven just spin out his frustrations and try again.
It was definitely a good choice there. No point eating all that magic damage. Level 3 especially. And still a decent cooldown, level 3 as well. 26 seconds here. Things not looking too favorable for TNC right now. They're going to have to look towards that big group up moment. In terms of the net worth as well, it's all looking Radiant right now. Good Queen, good Gyro, and then Jug as well. They're not, as he said, too far behind on the Dire. It's just some action's got to happen here, Captain.
Chen, he's desperately fishing for the action, sending his Dark Troll Summoner onto the Gyrocopter, but couldn't get in range of that net. So he's burning up a little bit of experience, perhaps a little bit of potential farm, trying to keep this pressure on bot lane.
Man, he just got wrecked. Cuckoo just comes up for the bounty rune, grabs it.
Ryor down here in the jungle. They want to go down to Fly solo. Tim's bringing his creeps in. They've got the Hellbear. He's clapping. And that will be a kill for our Chen. Finally, his persistence pays off. Meanwhile, Quap joins the fight up top, able to find the kill onto Cuckoo. That's a huge pick.
Yep.
But Raven gets out alive.
Great first use of the Sonic Wave. So TNC, it's kind of like one step forward and two steps back. It feels like Chen's getting some gold, but then your Xiaofeng goes down again. And so now Queen's opened up almost 1,000. Okay, now it's an 1,100 gold lead in the mid lane, which is absolutely devastating. Even with only an 8 CS advantage, most of hers are going to be lane creeps, whereas Cuckoo's had a little bit of a recovery jungle time going on here.
I
I think Armel is one of the most skilled mid laners in the region, and I mean, Cuckoo is certainly not inexperienced by any means, but the Shadow Fiend just isn't really an early contest hero for a hero like Quap that can start the snowball so aggressively. But we'll see. I mean, when Shadow Fiend starts rotating with his Chen, with his Rubik to set up kills for him, that's going to be a lot easier than him just trying to slap down a Quap who's ultra mobile. Radiant gank down bottom. Their smokes are going to pop as Ryar is TPing out in the trees.
Yeah, he had a 6 scan there. It was actually so nice.
Look at that TP out from Sam H. He gets the tower and he is hot bailing. He goes and shrines and he's going to move his way towards mid.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
All right, nice play by TNC. Really good game
Axe
sense.
is crawling away. There's the Omni Slash ready from Raven, but Raven gives up the chase as Axe prepares to go high ground on a shrine of his own.
Yeah, good choice. No idea who's there, and they could have already activated the shrine or something, and then you just throw away your attempts there. Plus, even if you go for an Omni Slash kill there, he's just gonna call and get that bonus 40 armor. One of the best parts, it's crazy you get it right at level 1. I always wondered if Axe is going to get nerfed, that would start scaling, but for now, still level 140 armor. Good spell. And a veil on our queen.
Farming up. He's had a pretty free time. I mean, he's rotated to gank into his jungle a couple of times, but hasn't really left for the most part. But for a completely free farm Juggernaut, he just doesn't have any kills, and so that means Axe and Quap are just going to be a little bit ahead of him for now. Like he's finished up in Aquila, waiting to fly that out to himself.
Ah, the battle of the scans, man. Nicely done. First is TNC, who catch the gank coming from the Radiant, and now it'll be the Radiant who perfectly predict what Tim's is up to, so save Boombox.
It is so smart, but fortunately, I don't know if Radiant have the resources to defend this. They're going to be bringing in Fly solo, but they still need some damage. There we go. There's the Shrine TPs coming in. They get the disruption to start things off. 10 creeps, they're abundant, but Tim's is still starting to melt down. And there's the crush.
I think he might
Armel.
be dead.
No, I mean, he could have blocked it with, you know.
That was ridiculous. 4 heroes just suddenly appear on top of you.
Clutch could have been, like, grossly incompetent and failed that gank, but
yes.
It was looking pretty secured for them.
Damn.
Either way, Radiant now getting a little bit of power. Axe gets he calls.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
It's his war cry, dude. He's literally making them scared to approach.
That was.
But either way, the Radiant starting to do a good number of rotations for themselves. This does mean Cuckoo has a little bit of free time against Gyrocopter in the mid. Gyrocopter obviously not going to be able to harass him as heavily as a Queen of Pain. Yeah,
he's catching up pretty well. Well, he's closed like 400 gold in terms of her lead, so not too bad. Editing more of my annoying production stuff. All right, we're good. It's all right. I have to watch the minimap, make sure no one dies. It's awful camera control.
I'd start yelling at you. Don't worry. I wouldn't let you get away with that.
That's true. Well, things will slow down for a bit here. Wouldn't mind seeing the Radiant continue their aggression. I mean, we have a Veil and a Queen, so let's go. Let's make use of this.
Amp that magic damage. I mean, it's pretty hard to find a target this early on as TNC, they're very vulnerable heroes, are kind of buddy systeming up, and even if you went and blinked and found a pick, it'd like Sand King or a Rubik, which isn't as impressive. So top lanes where the real action's going to be going down. Axe waiting in the wings. Still about 1,500 gold till his blink, but they got the disrupt to set things up. They're going in. Axe holding onto the call as well. Thinking about that dunk. He's teasing it out, but now he has to chase Raven through the trees. The healing ward as well. Buying some time. The Centaur Stomp connects onto 2. Oh, the Omni Slash buys them time. Another Gyrocopter ult being dropped down. One more hit onto Raven. Finally, he loses his battle, and Axe is starting to go ham, looking for the double dunk, but he goes down to Cuckoo right there. It looks like Armel is now trapped in the trees. What a chaotic fight. My god.
Oh man, Armel had this insane Sonic Wave queued up there and he was just out of mana. He didn't have any stick charges. So he couldn't throw it out. That was crazy. Sick rotation coming from TNC. Absolutely ridiculous. And all just from the fact that Raven survived so long. They couldn't perfectly get the gank off at the start. He gets the Omni Slash and then a very nice Chen Stomp from Tim's coming in there with the Centaur. First real, like, I guess I want to say, like, big impact from him this game, honestly. Where he's been able to really turn the engagement. So, very nicely
from
done.
Raven to go immediately bottom when he respawns because there is so much farm there, and clearly Clutch are investing a lot of resources into the top lane as well. He's got some room for himself, not going to be pressuring any towers, but stacking in the net worth right now. Juggernaut 4th on the chart. It's not super impressive. Meanwhile, mid lane, we do have a lift onto our Queen of Pain. Armel, blink on cooldown, one more raise hits, and that's going to be a killing spree.
Nice.
Able to get the deny on their little Sand King, take him out of his pain.
All right, huge. Cuckoo's the one who gets that as well. Completely recovered now after that fight top and then that pick. 5,500 gold. Now he's the one way in advance. This is exactly what a Shadow Fiend needs. And now it's Tim's. Looking at having another big impact here. He's got 3 creeps. And he's not even max level. Or rather 3 creeps plus his helm. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Because it's a hell of an item. And just another level. Past his ulti and then we'll be able to have the 5th creep for Chen.
I mean, TNC, they don't want to hit the brakes at all with the creep wave already pushing in from Raven's farming. They're able to go try to take a tier 2 off the back of this. We'll see if Clutch are going to react to that.
Look at Armel.
Yeah, Armel is just fucking right off.
Like, what do you do against these creeps so early? There's actually nothing. If you don't have, like, Crystal Maiden or Enchantress or Mirana.
Enchantress, yeah. Oh, top lane. Axe. Gonna be chilling in the jungle. Ryar, no blink or anything, so Rubik just gonna be zoning him out and helping his little buddy farm.
Yeah, it's kind of absurd how little you can do. And we have a Shadow Blade now done up on Cuckoo, so it looks like they're getting ready for a smoke. We have Omni Slash ready. Time for them to go on the aggressive. And TNC, definitely the expected kind of top dogs in this competition, I would say. At least between these two teams at the very least. And they will just smoke right into the rush. But because they have the stolen Amplify still on Rior. Stole it on that gank on the Queen of Pain earlier. And now holding on to it to ensure a very early Roche.
I mean, the good news is everyone on Clutch is farming up and getting what they need. The Axe able to take out a either double or triple stack of Ancients. Can catch it right at the start. And finishes off his Blink Dagger while the Aegis is coming out. So it's not ideal. Obviously, you'd like to be able to contest the Roche fight. Maybe don't have an Aegis on the Dire team at this point. But the Radiant aren't, you know, completely tumbling down. They're still staying in it. Yeah,
no, it's true. That's we've seen a couple of these Vanguard axes now, something that's kind of fallen off just because it's rare to see him get that good of a lane these days. But able to go Vanguard, a little greedier, but it means that you confirm the Ancient stacks with ease. So catapulting yourself into a blink by 14.5 minutes shows why he's the top net worth on his team. Respecting the offlaner.
Bottom lane. We got to jump as Sam H really wants to keep this tower up.
Oh, good sentry
mid.
mid.
They get that disrupt, and it looks like there is going to be follow-up. Radiant find a kill immediately onto the Shadow Fiend. His Aegis is now down. The rest of TNC are in the area, but that's a spooky proposition for them to try to hold.
Yeah,
Radiant, they back off immediately. They got what they wanted.
That's perfect. It's an ideal scenario for Clutch. Just dish that Aegis. And, I mean, I guess you wouldn't mind killing him a second time, but if they TP 4 people, that also kind of helps the situation. So it's kind of a more old school. It's the drums build he opts for on the gyro. Kind of interesting. As I really thought, especially up against Jen, like we've seen so many of these helm gyros that he would go for it, but just gonna find the value in grouping up, it seems. Trying to add a little bit of the attack speed to his squad. Well, I guess that's the drums now, or the helm now as well. But you get 25 with the endurance, so at least there's that.
Up top, Boombex tried to deal with Cuckoo, and Cuckoo was just like, I have a Shadow Blade and an ult with max souls. That's not happening, so Focus is going to switch to mid lane. Ryar goes in, lifts up the gyrocopter. He's trying to run himself away. There's a homing missile on him as well. I think this Rubik is very, very dead. Now Cuckoo comes in, again, full Shadow Blade, rocking out. He's thinking about going forward, and Axe goes in for the call. Onto Sand King. Cuckoo is there. He's got all his races going in, and Sand King wants to continue to go forward, and Radiant are probably a little bit perplexed by this. Raven dumps out the Omni Slash onto the Queen of Pain. It's not going to find any kills, and now Cuckoo's the one in trouble. Oh, they get the call down. The Hand of God may not be enough. A Culling Blade comes through, and that is going to be another death on the Shadow Fiend. Tim's going to be focused down now, and he's got an army, but he's got no one to save him right now. And it's now just TNC getting focused down one by one. The Axe has got armor for days, and Juggernaut Spin can't save him. It's a double kill for Armel. A TP back in from the Rubik. He's going to go through, and he does end up stealing Shadow Poison, but that is underwhelming at best, and Radiant take a huge fight for themselves.
Yeah, Armel, I am going to say, he pretty much single-handedly won that fight because he Shadow Striked onto our Sand and Sam H just sat up here the entire fight with this nice little Blink Dagger, wanted to win the whole fight for his team, and had he had Blink, he would have won that fight. It was like, no question. He could have blinked in and caught like a 4-man epi on 3 different occasions, but he was just stuck up there. And nothing he could do, thanks to Shadow Strike being on top of him. And it made that fight so easy for TNC because they're just fighting the entire time without their Sanking. And he's so much of their stuns. Like, once the initial telekinesis is gone from Rior, this is kind of it, right? You need these big burrows and that massive damage output from Sam H. And even level 12, too. Like, he would have crushed that fight.
Speaking of crush, our Slardar, he's feeling real good about himself. Again, he already has his Blink. He's going to be picking up some more Sentry Wards, trying to keep the D ward going. I mean, Dire, they are serious about their vision. Check out Dire Vision. And they're seeing most rotations, most lane swaps going out.
Yeah, some nice vision coming from both sides. Overall, at least this good deep one here, although it will be expiring soon. So the Radiant will probably have to go on a little bit of a smoking mission themselves. But Teens here looking to bounce right back after losing that fight. Although they have a couple cooldown issues.
Smoke gonna pop here. They see Axe, who's gonna move forward, realizes he bit off way more than he can chew. Axe is gonna call, gets the extra armor. In fact, he's standing up well against this Juggernaut. Queen of Pain lets her ult go. It's not exactly super impactful, but now Raven, he's still eating it. There's gonna be a call down. They hold him down. The crush. 2 heroes stuck in the call down. Beautifully played by Clutch Gaming, looking to upset the series. Homing missiles still going through. Ryor's in some trouble. The Shrine, it's on cooldown. They can't get any sort of regen going. That's gonna be 3 heroes dead for nothing. What looked like a for sure Axe death turned into a great fight for Clutch.
Yeah, they just smoked way too early. They didn't have Omni and they didn't have Epi at the time. So now they're both back off cooldown, but they the Axe, worst possible one. He just he blinks into a jug, and a Shadow Fiend's not even there, so there's no Requiem, so it's just all physical damage anyway. Like, it's one Burrow Strike, and then this Vanguard just does enough work against the Jug. There's like no way they can kill him, especially once he gets off Berserker's Call. Maybe if they can catch out the Queen in those situations, it would be much better than the Cuckoo. Oh, they got him?
Shadow Blade, but they got the Corrosive Haze. He's still visible. They've still got eyes on him, and they bring in Cuckoo. Oh my, Cuckoo. Armel, he's off to a very strong start. The Queen of Pain is now 9, 2, and 3. She's got herself a finished Lincoln Sphere in about 10 gold.
Wow.
And holy moly. Clutch are doing it. This is going to be a big upset so far in the tournament.
Yeah, certainly know these guys are talented. Again, plenty of old Rave players, and some certainly impressive performances so far in the tournament, but 19 minutes. That's actually crazy to have a Veil and a Lincoln's here on this Queen of Pain. Almost 10k gold now. And Rappy just continues his ridiculous farm as well. He's above the Shadow Fiend. He's got his Vanguard, he's got his Blink, he's got his Blade Mail, and almost 800 gold on top of that. Can pretty much go any direction he wants.
Is there a ton of pressure right now for Clutch to keep up the momentum, or can they relax and farm a little bit and TNC are still going to be riding the struggle bus?
I would say things are a little more Clutch Gamers favored the later we go. I think the Axe does well against most of the heroes that they have on TNC. He's just so tanky that he's not very concerned about anything that the Shadow Fiend or the Jug are going to build into anytime soon. Like, Cuckoo's working on a BKB. Doesn't really affect Axe. And then it'll be an S and Y here for Raven, at least currently on his queue. Maybe just feeling there's not much point going Manta this game, which I'd probably agree with against Axe, a Queen of Pain, and a Gyrocopter. Although that does mean he won't have a way to dispel the Corrosive Haze, which is a rather frustrating thing for a Juggernaut to deal with. Nice call down here by a big...
Bold play from the Gyro.
Yeah. Keep those waves going. Speaking of waves, Sam H also doing some sneaky plays down here. He'll find himself a full lane of farm.
Yeah,
Look at Sand King. What a hero. That's actually ridiculous how fast you can farm because of stuff like that.
And just keeping him relevant in the game. I mean, I want to talk more about this Chen, who's You know, Chen is a definite bold pick, but is it really paying off right now for TNC? How do they get the most out of this Chen? Because it seems like that super early push window where Chen's usually shy in the first couple of ganks, the first couple of towers. Tim's just hasn't gotten what he needs to out of that.
Yeah, didn't really have the opportunities at all. I don't know. It was a bold strategy. He just like spent so much time in his own jungle, and he didn't help the top lane, and he didn't help the bottom lane, so couldn't help the mid lane because there was a ward there. I'm not too sure. I feel like if I was revisiting this game for TNC, I would think about doing some sort of an aggro lane or something where the Chen is going to be more active and he can have an impact on 2 lanes in an easier fashion that way, but they did not opt into that, so that's kind of where a lot of their struggles seem to be coming from.
Man, we've got Amel just farming up. I mean, you see how scared the entire Dire team are of just this Quap. I mean, no one else has revealed. They're all smoked up behind the Quap, but still no one jumping what they appear to be a solo Quap. So, TNC, they're playing appropriately cautious right now. Clutch starting to invade their jungle. Clutch, well, they've got pretty nice wards on the other side of the river. They've only got a sentry on their side of the map, so not going to be finding out this rotation just yet. Ryer's going to go ahead and take out a ward. Well, he's got some free time, but the rest of the Radiant, they still want to fight. They're going to be going towards this tier 2 tower. TNC, they've got a short chance to rotate if they want to, but it looks like they may just go for this tier 2 on tier 2 trade.
Yeah, I would say more favorable for Clutch gamers, taking down the mid tier 2, a little bit more important. I would say on the Dire side, just the way it kind of impacts these stairs and whatnot. Kind of like it, allows you to rotate right through here. Much easier, which is a little bit more common than any sort of rotation through like this area on the Radiant.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And they'll start to scout out the Roche pit. They, again, don't have any helms on the Radiant though, so they'll just have to be a little bit more diligent about checking it over and over.
Cuckoo. Teasing out his Requiem. He's dancing, but no. Not going to blow anything up yet. I mean, Radiant right now, they are content to 4 or 5 man stick close together. They can push down this top tower if they want to get another tier 2 for themselves. Get what TNC have right now, and their Juggernaut, he's free farming the Radiant jungle, but he's still struggling.
Yeah.
3.
Only problem being, you know, the jungle. So, not exactly ideal for TNC at this scenario. But they are finding some good plays. Again, Sam H doing the same thing here. You can see how fast he just annihilates these waves. So useful. Oh, he might get caught out here. Oh, Boombox just not quite there.
Very, very close. TP's out, come from the rest of the heroes, while Axe is able to get down to the bottom lane and pick apart a Shadow Fiend.
Wow, must just caught him, I guess, in the wave.
There we go. Chen goes in to take the rune, doesn't realize that there is a Roche going on, but they bring the little mud golem in, and now they're going to deal with it. So, PNC looking to group up. They're all postured in the mid lane, but Clutch may just have enough damage to take this Roche out so quickly.
Yeah, I think Rio was trying to steal the Crows of Haze too, but not that it's going to matter if they just take it right now. And start up with their sentries, find a ward. Well done by Fly Solo. And no contest coming in. Alright, Clutch Gamers looking good. Got a Lincoln Sphere, and this gold is going to put Armel really close to Orchid. We'll have that up soon.
A rich boy Quap, already almost 13 or more than 13,000 net worth at 24 minutes. Axe again keeping pace, doing very well. Our Shadow Fiend could be respawning from the dead now. We'll hold that thought there as Fly Solo. Get lifted up. They know a Rubik's nearby.
Here, an Epi.
Yeah, they're channeling this up. They really, really want the Shadow Demon. But now that the Epi's done, they're going to go in. Boomback's trying to go for a kill onto Sand King. They've got Armel in as well. Chen going to be bailing out his creeps, but he can't bail out Sam H. Going to be going now. Has absolutely no mana to his name and will get burned down. That is a huge streak coming out for the Quap right now.
Yeah, at the same time, they took out that top lane too. So they just brought enough heroes back to kill Sand King. They still got their objective. And things continue to go the way the Radiant side.
Get overall net worth about 6,000 in favor of Clutch. Similar story for experience. And taking a look at our level breakdown. Oh god, Sayori unbound my level key.
think
Yeah, it's,
level
Axe and Quap about to hit their 20s.
yeah. The Axe 1 actually 25 HP regen is insane. Holy. That is really good this game. That's a lot of HP regen. That's a pretty sick level 20 talent, honestly. Well, shout out to that. Shadow Fiend probably the most important level 20, I would assume, in this game. The whole +2 damage per soul really helps him actually do things. Although, as cool as 15% lifesteal is, I don't think I've ever seen anyone take it. It's just too much damage on the old SF to pass up.
Yeah, you just got to start stacking the raw right clicks on him. But when you look at TNC, and the Shadow Fiend's doing well for his position, the Juggernaut, he's farming slowly but surely, and he'll get there. Sand King's trying to be the best initiator possible, but it feels like Chen is just so unimpactful here. Now we're going to see Sam H try to get things started. Armel goes for the blink away, but he's going to get lifted, and he's got it crushed. Okay, they've got the kill. Onto the Quap as Aegis is going to be burned up. Can he get out in time? They're ready to dump the damage on him. Armel jumps back, but will be killed. That's a 7 streak going the way of Cuckoo, and this could turn it all around. That's almost 800 gold that he picked in a single second.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the right fight recap. It keeps showing me the Aegis. Oh, there we go. That was weird. I didn't even know that was the thing.
Did you know Quap lost Aegis that fight?
Yeah, thank you. Fight
Let's show
recap.
you.
So 768. Oh, does it? It actually shows the right value now in the bottom. Oh, that used to be a thing that didn't happen. That's cool. All right. Anyway, and well done, well done. So having all the heroes there, maybe a little bit too aggressive there from the Queen. 2 minutes were left on the Aegis. Might be able to clean up one more tier 2, but that'll make things a little bit more difficult if they choose to do so here. And the fact that Shadow Fiend was there for getting all that experience to talk about, he's just about to get up into level 20. So potential smoke play here as they go to the most classic of smoke spots on the Dire. Oh, nope. Riora's like, nah, I need a bounty rune. Hold up. Bring a Chen too.
Meanwhile, Raven just going back in for that very typical Juggernaut build that we've seen before. Manta into Diffusal Blade. He's getting close, picks up the second Blade of Alacrity, so about 5 more minutes we're going to have our Jug Manta Diffusal online, and is that the point where we're going to see TNC start to take these fights and get a little more ambitious, or do they still want to just keep farming and avoiding conflict?
Yeah, we've been watching them kind of bumble around a little bit here. All right, Riora's actually a TP here, so they just spent a little bit of time getting themselves organized, doing like this and walking over here and then walking back. And
and watch them just immediately die. Boombax is going to be coming in. Doesn't break smokes from this. Cuckoo leading the charge. He's got his Silver Edge going, so if he does bump into somebody, he's not going to immediately reveal. Wrapping real deep into the Radiant turf, but Radiant, they're already on the Dire side of the map. They don't care too much about this.
and they think they're baiting the Axe, but it's the Axe who's actually in deep trouble.
I mean, the rest of his team is going to be fine. They can get this pick on the Axe, but at what cost here? Axe is so survivable. Oh, the rest of his team's going to be able to rotate back in time. He's already got a Shiva's Guard. He's slowing down Sam H. Sam H is going to be able to use the Axe up in the air, buy himself some time. Meanwhile, Armel just goes to town on this Chen, dumpstering Tim before he has a chance to walk out. Now Cuckoo hanging into the back lines is able to TP through, but they're going to find another consolation prize for themselves. It looks like that will be Sam H picked off. 2 heroes dead. I thought for sure that Axe was a goner, but the rest of his team, they're able to get back on top of it, and Axe is just ultra tanky right now.
Yeah, they weren't willing to just commit the Requiem or anything. They would need some pretty good chain stuns, of course, or he'd have to immediately pop the BKB or something to make sure he didn't die to the Blade Mail from the Axe, and they just couldn't find that synergy or any sort of synchronization there from the side of the Dire, so cost them heavily. Again, worst possible target to initiate on too, but they didn't really have a choice in that scenario.
Slardar TP'd back here near to this tier 2. Saw Cuckoo coming in, wanted to see if maybe he could crush and go for a solo pick or at least drive him back, so looks like Radiant are going to have to stop their push for now as they lose a big initiator. They're content just to go back farming. You've got your Queen of Pain almost to her Ags now after picking up an Orchid.
Yeah, you could say she's a little farmed, I think.
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Oh, I've had the... Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter, actually. Kind of an annoying... I've had the draft overlay on this whole time. That actually looks really funny. Well, it's not a full draft overlay, so that's why it's not jail overlay. Don't worry.
Walk through the screen and punch you.
No, it's a different... It looks like a normal overlay, but we'll switch it on
It's just
over.
got like the weird Mr. Cat square in the...
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of randomly floating in a different empty space. So Wow, guys, look at that. Completely different. Well, just a slightly bigger hippo. I mean, that's a really exciting thing. I would call that an upgrade, honestly. They look so similar. I always forget.
I mean, I really hate to do this, but on behalf of Moonduck Studios, you fucked up the overlay and now you're fired.
That's okay. It's all right. I'll land on my
time.
feet, I think. It's going to be okay.
All right, a little bit of a split push coming in. Middle of the map is No Man's Land. Dire, they're hanging out in the Radiant jungle. Radiant, they're cruising in the Dire turf, but no one's really bumping into each other. And that's going to continue to benefit Clutch. Like you mentioned, their heroes scale really nicely with farm. They're getting their farm. They're not being killed. This Chen just feels like he is in the middle of Strug City. He is not finding anything he needs.
Yeah, he is the only one who can, like, safely split push at this point. Like, Sam H is having to dip, dive, duck, and dodge and whatnot through the tree lines and stuff on the Sand King, whereas Tim's has been doing a nice job of just throwing his creeps at lanes. Oh, jeez. Rio is crazy and grabbing some steals in the mid lane here, too, just throwing out a Fade Bolt and running away. But with the Berserker's Call, perhaps he can make a play happen and set up for a massive Requiem here for the Dire side.
Where's my pension?
Am I... Oh, there we go. Slider has a gem. I was like, am I slow? They just took out a ward, and I didn't see them put down a counter sentry, so that's going to be pretty interesting. Keep things moving forward. You can no longer use Shadow Blade to escape. If Shadow Fiend's trying to run away and you've got a Slider on your butt, it may as well just roll over.
Yeah.
So he's got himself a double damage rune. Shadow Fiend can hit pretty hard. He goes into his Silver Edge, and that first strike at a Silver Edge, if he has a double damage rune rocking, that's going to hurt.
Ooh, it's going to be an early Roche here, too. So if Chen can sniff this one out, perhaps they could actually use this to quickly take it. And, no stolen Crows of Haze this time. Although they'll have good vision in a second. They know where the Queen is down bottom, and then they'll spot the Slider coming through now as well. And with that gem moving this direction, they're going to miss this ward. So one of the sneakier ones. Very handy in this current scenario. And that bird's in the pit. This could be a big moment for TNC. Let's see how fast Xiaofi can get here with that DD. Oh, we actually just TP'd bottom.
Oh, meanwhile, Gyrocopter. I just clicked on Abing for the first time in a while. He's got a full butterfly and a 10-second BKB ready to go.
Yeah, he just picked up the butterfly a minute ago. And working in towards that Morbid Mask, too. So a little bit of survivability. And, oh, man, I bet Cuckoo's just so salty he left. He's like so close to the pit with this DD rune active, but head to bottom, right as it spawned, and at that point, not really much choice in the matter. So, being a slight connection issue.
I mean, the other team paused though. Maybe they're on the same wavelength. They're both sorting themselves out.
Oh yeah, he's probably just reconnecting because he saw the pause.
All right, so let's talk about what's going right for TNC, because obviously they've got a steeper mountain to climb. Net worth about 10,000 disadvantage for them. Similar story with XP. So see what's on the horizon for TNC. I mean, the Sand King's been doing very well for himself. He's got a good amount of farm, keeping himself relevant. Juggernaut too, Shadow Fiend. All the cores are doing all right. Just Rubik can't really find those lifts, can't really initiate. He's got a stolen Berserker's Call, but that's not going to work out for him.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those ones. It's nice when you have a Ghost Scepter or something. Like hop in and do it that way.
This 1200 health Rubik just like walks up to a Gyrocopter and just demands to be fight. That's not going to go well.
Well, they have the heroes that can kind of make some plays, I suppose. But, I mean, again, we kind of knew the later this game goes, the more it would start to favor CG, unless they had some sort of a massive lead on TNC, which never really happened. It's been mostly a CG game so far. Besides that slight run back where Cuckoo managed to climb his way back on top. Ever since then, Armel just kind of cleaned up across most of the map. Next goal will just become our Roche into Tier 3, Shrines, potential racks. In terms of building hitters, they do have this Gyrocopter Butterfly, who, although he doesn't have like the craziest anti-building abilities, he is very survivable on the high ground.
It looks like we're going to be ready to resume things here. Shadow Fiend still farming himself up. Shadow Fiend's sitting on 3,000 gold. What does he go for here?
What do we have? We have our BKB. He's currently looking at a Manta. which, yeah, you kind of need against... That's the thing. You kind of need this against that damn Slider. So obnoxious. Like, if he ever wants to try and, like, manta and just run away, and then it's still a fairly handy item. I don't know. I kind of like Hurricane Pike a little bit better, honestly, but... yeah, it feels like he needs the stats or something.
One's farming up. Radiant make their way to the Roche pit. Again, third Roche, so Aegis and Cheese at their disposal. Although the Centaur is going to be running in. Ryar goes, tries to steal himself something fun. Finally finds the Corrosive Haze he's been looking for. Is that enough to get the party started? There's a regen rune being puppy guarded as well by the axe. And Armel can just rip this thing apart along with Gyrocopter. They've got right click for days. The Dire, they're coming in. They're smoked up. Ryar goes in for the lift onto the axe. The Burrow Strike to hold him in place. But there's going to be a crush coming in onto two. Cuckoo channels up his ult, but it's barely going to connect on anyone. Axe, maybe the person to go down here, but it's already going to be way too late as Armel has a Aegis. They've got Cheese up as well. Sam H going in trying to sandstorm onto the axe, but they're all still alive, and Cuckoo, he's going to be picked down, and there's that Tim's going down as well. Axe finally does drop, but it is at a very steep cost. Queen of Pain's going to continue to move forward, going in. Rubik may just melt down to the dagger. Armel needs one more shot, and that's going to be another kill going her way. Flies solo, meets his match here with Juggernaut and Sand King working on him, but overall Clutch Gaming still get exactly what they needed.
Yeah, that HP regen was actually so sick from the talent.
Oh, Queen of Pain, please relax. She's going to get her Lincolns popped off. She's got her Orchid rolling as well. Sand H comes in, but again, he can't escape. They've still got the gem onto the Slardar. Underneath the shrine, everyone's regenning, and oh my goodness, Queen of Pain. She's just on a roll.
Armel looks good. We only had 3 deaths this game, 13, 3, and 6. Pretty good. The Chen creeps, well, they did their job down bottom. Managed to clean up the tower. That's actually pretty huge. It does open up shrines for the Dire side, so pretty solid victory for them, but overall still going very much Clutch Gamers' way. And that fight, yeah, it was just all Axe HP regen. They just could not focus him down. First they commit the entire Requiem to just him, and then he's just kind of like waltzing away. Then Sand King goes on top of him. He stuns him. He like right clicks him like 7 times, and still nothing's happening. And then he gets Omni Slashed. So he tanked basically every offensive ability of from the side of TNC, and that left nothing for the rest of the guys on Clutch Gamers.
Oh my goodness, Queen of Pain dumps out some serious damage onto the Chen, uses her ult, isn't able to find the kill, but forces him back, and Queen of Pain has the Ag, so the ult's only down for 30 seconds or so. Quap and Axe have just been the offensive, defensive heroes they need. Axe, like you mentioned, able to soak up everything, and Armel, just the right clicks, the magic damage, it's so there, and we got the BKB and the Shadow Fiend, but that's it for now. Fortify comes out from the Dire, driving Radiant back temporarily, but Armel wants to finish off at least one half of the racks. He's going to be able to go in. The Centaur charging forward, thinking about a stomp. Does he get it? Come on, Centaur. Oh, looks like Sam H. He's the one going in there. It's going to be a call from the Axe. He thought about it, but Clutch, they're able to get away completely unscathed. They at least crack the high ground, take a little bit of what they need, and they can rotate back for the shrine immediately.
Yep, so I'll even up the ability to kill shrines here. And even though they killed the tier 3 on the Dire too, like they'll probably have a pretty tough time actually getting in there and killing one without living in fear of some sort of rotation from the side of CG. And in fact, in terms of rotations, they're already smoked up. Trying to find them. They don't have scan though. Oh, well.
Axe can just face check it. Tim's gonna dodge the call, can't dodge the crush, and he is a 3-shot. Radiant are just on a roll right now. The Dire, I mean, they're going in. They're like, all right, let's try and counter push, but Radiant will take that bet. They're going in. They're going to finish off this full lane of racks, and they can rotate in for top or bottom after that. All the tier 2s are down. World is their oyster.
Oh, Jug's switching his TP out of the backpack, too. It's taking forever for him to get back. He won't be here for this. At least not for the tower. And Cuckoo's just going to work. Down bottom, so he'll trade for maybe one. Nope, Axe is gonna catch him and taunted. And oh, Manta dodge, BKB. Yo, all right, that was pretty sick. Credit.
We're looking at 2 different fights here going down. It's vicious all the way up in the bottom lane. It was a little bloodthirsty as well. Queen of Pain commits her ult for that. There's an Omni Slash to try to buy the Jug some time, and well, he is able to blink himself back into the fountain. Cuckoo here has his ult. Cream of Souls could be committed, and looks like Armel may be in some trouble. Able to blink back again, has the Aegis, but that's 2 full lanes of racks taken out by Clutch. And good distractioning, I guess, happening down bottom to allow for the second lane racks to be taken. Looking at overall net worth, it is just going to be swinging in favor of the Radiant so dramatically.
Oh yeah. No, this is. They did what they could. Cuckoo tried to get something going down the bottom lane, but he was thrown out there by the axe. Almost died. Very, very close, but it was a very nice escape from Cuckoo.
Juggernaut still feeling pretty underwhelming. I mean, in that fight, we saw him go and Omni Slash, and it barely tickled anyone from the Radiant, and it just allowed him to escape. It's not a great idea when you're using your ultimate just to try to get out of danger on a Juggernaut. So, I mean, what does Juggernaut have to do to make himself really impactful? It looks like he's going for a Scotty, but that's going to take a long time to farm up, and Radiant are only getting stronger in that time.
I mean, this game's like virtually over.
Cuckoo?
It's surprisingly
Cuckoo's
still
gonna go
going.
ahead, get called. They've got the vision from the Slardar, who's still holding the gem, hasn't lost it, and that is going to be a dead Shadow Fiend. Oh god, he BKBs as he's being culling bladed down. So that's a BKB charge eaten up, and he'll never get that back.
Yeah, I think he realizes he doesn't have buyback, so gotta try everything he can to survive there. And it worked last time. He BKB'd Manta and ran away on like 100 HP or something, so he tried his best again, but not gonna happen this time. One Rax remaining here. One lane, that is, I suppose, for the side of TNC. No Shadow Fiend to defend. The rest of the allies of the Radiant making their way up here. Boots of travel onto Rappy. Had a hell of a game on this axe so far.
Dire's top tower is
Yeah, I mean, this Axe Quap combo is phenomenal. Axe is like, alright, you guys punch me, I can take it, I'll deal with it, and then Queen of Pain, he's just right-clicking into
Nice
a little
ward,
Heart's
but-
Content, and oh, here we go, Dire trying to go for the wraparound there, getting cheeky, flies solo, living for a surprisingly long time. Boombex, he's got barely a scratch of health left on him, but he's still alive, he's gonna be able to blink away safely. Oh, the Gyrocopter now goes to town, Tim's finished off as well, Raven going forward, will finally
nice.
find a kill on the Slardar, the gems on the ground, picked up immediately by the courier, the GG calls out. As TNC, they just gotta roll over. They can't deal with this kind of assault anymore. Game number 1 goes to Clutch Gaming for the beginning of a pretty cool upset.
Yep, nicely done. Again, relatively new squad, at least for us here, but they've been doing quite well lately, and that shall continue. I like the gyro pick. Thought it worked out well. Maybe part of the reason Chen couldn't get too much done in the early game, just I guess afraid of any sort of problems coming up from all that rock barrage, early magic damage, but we shall return. We'll throw it over to a quick break here. I got to host up these lobbies, and we'll be back for game number 2 of this series. Best of 2, Group B action. Stick around for more Mr. Cat.